What must an entrepreneur assume when starting a business? What can you expect? What's going to come up? What's going to go on in your mind? What challenges am I going to face right off the bat? What challenges am I going to face long term? These are some things that I highly recommend that you know and that you're prepared for as you're diving into this entrepreneurial space. Are you thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, or are you new to the entrepreneur space and you're like, what have I gotten myself into? Or what does it take to become an entrepreneur? In this video, I'm going to give you an introduction of what's going to happen to you as an entrepreneur, some things that you've got to master, some things that you're going to experience, and we'll also be talking about why it's all worth it and why you need to do this. Okay, the first thing that you need to assume and understand when starting a business is things are not going to work out like you planned or like you expect. As entrepreneurs, we dream, we create, we envision all this stuff, right? And what we imagine is going to happen, we know it's actually not going to work that way. There's going to be pivots and things that we learn. There's going to be things that don't work. And as a true entrepreneur, we learn from that mistake and we just move forward, right? But there's going to be pivots and changes all along the way. As entrepreneurs, we're okay with that. We understand that process and we love it, but it's really hard for a lot of people and they don't have that stick-to-itness, and that's why they don't remain entrepreneurs. That doesn't mean that as entrepreneurs we don't set goals. In fact, we absolutely love setting goals, but it's not about the achievement of the goal that we're worried about. We set a goal so that we know we're moving in the right direction. And there's going to be pivots and changes. That goal is probably going to change. We're pleased when we hit our goal, but guess what? We just set another goal. So it's not about the specific goal. It's about progress and about learning and about pivoting. That's what's important to entrepreneurs. Okay, right off the bat, I recommend just taking on the belief that you can't do everything yourself. The more hats you put on and try and wear at the same time, the more stressed you're going to be and the less quality work you're going to do at each one of those steps. Now I mean, you're a perfectionist, right? You do a really good job. And let's just take something like video editing. Okay, when I edit a video, I know exactly what I want. I know exactly how I like things, and I feel that I'm pretty good. I have a pretty good eye for it, and so when I tweak it, I know I can get a video just right. And I have doubts that I could hire a video editor to do it exactly like I would. But you know what? I've hired a video editor, and what do? The first time, they get it about 80% of the way that I like it. But they just saved me doing that 80% of the work. And then I go in and I give them feedback and say, okay, you did all these things, great, but there's 20% more that needs to be done. I needed to do this, I needed to tweak that. So they go back to work. Do they get 100%? You know what? They might get it to 90 or 95. I'll still have to go in and say, okay, good job, you made it better, but there's still this that's missing. There's a little audio thing there. Let's go ahead and tweak that. Then they'll get it because I've given them feedback. What about video project number 2? Video project number 1, first try, they got 80% right. So that's actually pretty good. Video number 2, what if they get 83% of the way there? Well, that's an improvement. They learned from the feedback I gave them last time, so now I can give them feedback again, and after a couple rounds, we'll get it back up to 100%. Okay, time number 3, maybe we're at 87%. Time number 4, maybe we're at 89%. Okay, eventually, we're going to get 99 or 100% of the time on each video. It takes more work to do that at first, okay? But to really succeed as an entrepreneur, this is something that you have to take on, that you can't do everything yourself. A real entrepreneur works on the business, not in the business. So if I'm doing all the editing, I'm in the business. I'm just doing the tasks of the business. But if I create the system of how we should do editing, and then I hire an editor to run my system, that was me working on the business. And while he's working in the business, I can now work on some other part of my business. And I can continue to make my business better and more efficient. You've got to build a team. Okay, I'm back in the cement bunker because I want to talk to you about something that you're going to be really resistant to. If you want your business to succeed, you can't be afraid of the phone. You will have the best sales success if you talk to people personally on the phone, and you've got to master sales. So I guess we're talking about 2 things here, sales and sales on the phone. Okay, I'm thinking of somebody right now. He's a good friend of mine, and I produce his YouTube channel. His channel is quite large, and it is a lead generation machine for his business. The challenge is he's expecting everything to be automated. So he set up ClickFunnels and fine-tuned things here and there, and he is making some sales that way, but the revenue he's generating is nowhere near what it should be. And I've counseled him many times, you need to jump on the phone. All these leads that you're generating, if they talk to you on the phone and you have a sales conversation with them, they will buy from you. And I've even suggested specifically in his case that he create a $5,000 product, because if he's on the phone, people love him, they admire him, they're already ready to hire him. And if he gives them something of great value and says it's $5,000, there will be people that are ready and very interested in buying that. But when you're trying to automate things and they never get to talk to you, it's actually harder to make a $50 sale. Automation is awesome. You know I love efficiency. But in the beginning of your business, or especially in the beginning when you're developing traffic on YouTube, you've got to handle the sales yourself. You've got to perfect the sales system on the phone. Having those conversations with people, you get to find out what their objections are. You get to find what their hot buttons are. You know what they like and what they don't like, and you know the difference between the people who buy and not. You really get a pulse on who your customer is and what works. And that is so important in your business. So when you're creating your sales funnel, you need to know all of these things. So if you have a certain sales percentage on the phone, let's say it's 25%, and you launch your sales funnel and it's 2%, you're like, whoa, that is a big drop in sales. But if you hadn't started with phone sales and you just launched your sales funnel online and you get a 1% conversion rate, and then you make some tweaks and you get it up to 2%, you're thinking, wow, I just doubled it. This is awesome. But you had no idea how much you're missing because you're not on the phone. The last tip I want to share before we leave the bunker is that there are 3 parts of business, okay? You've got traffic, you've got sales, and you've got fulfillment. Fulfillment is where you take care of your customers. Most of what you learn on this channel is about traffic, okay? Sales is critical, okay? You've got to master sales. As an entrepreneur, you're going to experience a lot of stress. There's just a lot of weight. There's a lot of responsibility resting on your shoulders, and there's no guaranteed paycheck. So you've got to make the sales and you've got to bring in the revenue, make sure all your expenses are covered and there's some left over for you. There is a better way of doing that. But the moral of the story is, man, it's stressful. I admit, I've had an ulcer before. Now, there's this bacteria that I guess causes it, and I did find that I had that bacteria, so a simple antibiotic got rid of it. I don't know if stress caused the ulcer or not, but I do know over the last 11 years that I've had this company, I've had a lot of stress. Another thing that you can expect is that you're going to learn a ton. I mean, seriously, there are so many trial and error, so many things that you do that you practice and you just have to figure out, so many things that you've never done before and you've got to take a tutorial on. You're constantly learning as an entrepreneur. So if you think school is behind you, learning is done, no, you're going to be learning way more at a way more accelerated pace and a much more applicable type of learning than you ever did in school. Prepare yourself for this one. As an entrepreneur, you're going to get a lot of criticism. People are going to criticize your ideas. They're going to make fun of you for your schedule or your work ethic. They're going to criticize you when you're struggling for money and say things like, why can't you just get a job, right? That's hard. Criticism is hard, especially when we're following our heart. We're following that, I call it the Moana voice. You know, the Disney princess who just felt called to go out to the sea and really follow her heart? As entrepreneurs, that's what we're doing. We're following our heart. It's not that we want to shirk responsibilities. It's not that we don't want to provide, and it's not that we don't want security, but we're striving for something bigger, for something greater. We feel that we have a calling and a mission to accomplish, even if we're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way, even if there's going to be hardship and trial and difficulty. The people on the sidelines, they can't take it. They can't understand it. They don't take those risks. They don't want to give up their security. They work in jobs that they don't like. And when they see us doing things like this, any instant that they can find to criticize us, they do. So you've just got to expect it. If you haven't received any criticism yet, I'd be very surprised. I have to say, I would not trade it for anything. It is so worth it. All of it's worth it. The ups and the downs. It's really fantastic. I mean, the relationships that I've created, the freedom that I do have financial success now. But even more than that, it's like I love what I've created.
and I love the possibilities, all the experience that I have. I look back and man, I wouldn't trade it. I'm really appreciative of all the mentors that I've had and that I currently have that helped me along the way. And I want to be that mentor for you. If you subscribe to the channel and turn on those alerts, then each time I upload a new video, you'll get notified. You'll be able to learn from my mistakes and my successes, and hopefully you can take some shortcuts.
So if you're as excited about entrepreneurship as I am, then I want to give you a free gift. It's called the Influencer Almanac, and I pack everything there, all about influence, all about YouTube, and all about entrepreneurship, all the systems, the tips and tricks that I've learned to really find great success. And I want to give that to you for free. So go ahead and find the link below in the description to my Influencer Almanac, and be prepared to increase your influence, increase your success on YouTube and as an entrepreneur.